Guys, wherever you are, it's a sorrowful day. Not much of the reaction today, no more reaction everywhere. This is the valid report that has come out correctly, and we are in sorrowful, and that's why we have stopped the reaction for 2 to 3 days coming, so as we can get time, so as we can just pray for our beloved Caster, where she is now undergoing much of the surgery for the cancer, the breast cancer. She is in India, and we are putting our all prayers into one packet, so as we can just deliver them to one position where is Caster she is right now. I think the operation has already started because it commenced on date 1st, which is March 2025, as we are date 4 of today. And we did say about we are sorrowfully, and also let's pray to the living God. Wherever you have just woken up and you can just get a time to breathe, praise the name of the living God, and let's pray for everyone. Note that everyone, there are much of even the subscribers who are always sick, and much of them are getting through the pains, and also they're getting through a very bitter journey, but they can still watch us and support us in terms of watching, in terms of funding, in terms of donations. And we can talk about it's something which is kudos and respect for everyone. And this kind of the video today, even me today, I don't feel like I'm well, as this kind of the report came out talking about Caster. She is it came yesterday, and that's why today we are with it, so as we can just talk about let's gather together and we help in terms of prayers. If you cannot help in terms of fundings, I cannot get in terms of much of the details about how the things go. You can check on trending, or I'm Carol, so they can just check on them. They can just give you much of we can talk about how you can just support if you have not got this kind of the report. And I think much of the people have already got the report about it, and it's only talking about let's put her into the prayers, because I was just waiting for the moment talking about where did Caster go since he talked about leave me alone, let me strive alone, since Eddie Mwango came, and they were a little bit talking about 2-3 shenanigans, and she left. Then we were waiting for her, and she talked about she has gone to South Africa, and from there she was having much of the illness, and she was getting much of the treatment. That's where she talked about she's gonna be going to South Africa here and there. So she was getting some symptoms, signs and symptoms there, and talking about you can just so it has now come out clearly in terms of now the symptoms. Now they have just got her into a scenario which is, we can call them unconditional circumstances, and to the fact about what is coming out. Thank you very much for everyone who is always being tuned, and much of the people are still asking about where she is. Right now she's in India, ongoing on this kind of the treatment of the cancer of the breast. And you know, it has come outside there because you can just remember it's just it was last year when the sister to Maja KE also got the same breast cancer, and she was cut. The breasts are no longer available, and whenever you feel such kind of a thing, you feel like what if she was your sister, your mother, and what about if it's a person who was near to you? So in terms of this, we cannot talk about, you know, the sickness have another talk about a tactic, how it comes, but it's due to how the hygiene. Sometimes you talk about much of the people right now, you know, I don't know what causes much of it, but much of the people talk about it is much of the boyfriends are here and there. I've been getting much of the people talking about that one in terms of the affections, talk about sometimes the mastitis and such kind of the things, and also whenever the cancer has growth, it brings much of the things. But you can just know there's no much. I don't know which kind of the operation she's going. I don't know if it's the one that it's like the operation of replanting, or it's cutting for free. I cannot know which kind of the operation it is, but we are waiting for the moment. It's 7.5 million Kenya shillings that is required for the operation to be conducted in India. So it's something that we really sympathize and talk about. Let God make his own ways, and we send our early reposition to her, and very early recovery, so as she can get well better. Even if how the surgery will go, we are praying for both the sickness to go off, and also for the surgery to go on very, very fantastic, for her to heal again, and continue with her own things wherever she is, and doing much of the things. And this is a call to everyone, put her into the prayers. And if you see, Ginto has also talked about this kind of the issue. It's something which is very, very serious, because I saw it to the sister, to Maja, as right now she's not having any kind of a breast. So it's something which is touching, and it's something which is not good to the person also, and the family members who are making sure that this kind of the people are got and taken care of. And the real fact is so sad, guys, for even the family and the friends also. And I did met her once, and can just remember, I can just imagine how she was liking Nigerian music. They were passing with David Jr. in a car, Nigerian music, playing here and there, sitting, relaxing, how she was jovial. I never knew, and you can never know how the sickness sometimes come. That's why even guys, I know what it meant, and whenever somebody who has ever passed through this, you understand what is really meant to have a cancer. Whatever small it is, you can understand the impact of it. And I've ever seen it, because me, I've ever passed through one, which is a brucellosis, which is brucella, and I can say about it was terrible. I can just imagine how I was in terms of the sickness, how I was admitted here and there, and even walking sometimes was a problem. Sometimes it comes with a lot of an impact, and how I was suffering. Talking about there's no walking, there's no even talk about you know it's just a break much of the knees here, and you cannot not even stretch. It's just you sleep and turn with the knees. The knees can the knees and the people with the don't things that can even walk, and even they can help you in terms of standing. So I understand this kind of an impact, and we pray hard to the living God. So as you can just let's put her into a prayer, and I will be silence for 1 minute for the people who are just listening to Ginto right now. Respect to you, and let's put her in prayers in only 1 minute, as we're gonna be talking about God help, and things gonna be coming out. As I'm feeling also like she's like my sister, and I feel it, and it's something which is so huge right now to the family. Let's pray and get her to the living God. Just a silent of 1 minute. Amen. Thank you very much for everyone who has been there, and let's pray much better, so as you can just feel better and good, as things gonna be going on very fantastic. And We pray for everyone who has been sick, and may God grant you peace and early reposition, so as we can heal properly and good as we continue with the vibe. And this is how we shall be going forward with this kind of the impact, how it gets us. Hello beautiful people, wherever you are, welcome back. It's underscore Tupac again to the root of today. We are one live coming out from the G Castle here, and everything is so fantastic as we start up this kind of the channel, and we're gonna be rechanneling, and much of the things are getting a change at the G Castle, and we're gonna be updating you what is really coming out clearly, because it has been so long before the update could be coming to you about what is really happening and why have we just stopped in terms of the G Castle construction right now. And we have ventured into other shenanigans and other telenovela and other constructions that are ongoing right now, because up to this kind of the section you can just see we are levelizing. You can see where the vehicle is coming from. It's just a downer, and it's looking like a pothole, a bigger one, and yet we want to make sure that it's going to be a levelized area, and I've started leveling this kind of a surface area. So much of the bulkiness of soil going to be bulked here to make sure that we're going to be having a level from that far end of the G Castle coming to this far end of the G Castle at the front yard here. So the G Castle now, it's having just some few days, like 5 days, so as you can demolish the formwork and make sure that they're gonna be coming down as safari rally in nature. So as far as everything is in concern, it has dried up, and things are now very fantastic, as you can just see, and to the position. But it has been creating much of talk about the channels. Look at even this one here. So this kind of an area, it was bulked with soil. You can just imagine, guys, this was the level, and where the construction of this kind of the bricks are, it was where now we bulked much of the soil. That's why it's now breaking because of the compactment of this kind of the slab, because you can see it's like a channel that has been created there of the breakage of the land, and that's why the impact of this slab, how it's just pressing down and putting that kind of an effect. So this area, guys, it was much of the bushy, but it has been already taken in a position and very relevantly, so as you can just see where the plot is separated between our neighbors and us here, because you can just see whenever you see this kind of the thorns here, whenever they are planted, it means that we are having a section here whereby this is where we shall just be putting our perimeter wall to the further top of the G Castle here. So now I've seen it's gonna be so fantastic, guys, as much of the things here, these are for the cows here to go and drink much of the water, because it's so sunny and they need much of water for hibernation. Sometimes you can just understand this kind of the equation, how it comes clean and to the position. So the dogs now are so fantastic, and they have ate. Now they want to sleep a little bit in terms of hibernation and activation, and we have much of the work that is going on, because, guys, I've told you we have much of the implementation that we want to do in terms of the construction of other stuffs, like now we are undergoing with the fish pond digging out, and we are onto the position. So the guys are in the work. How are you, man?
I'm good.
Everything is good, man?
Fine.
So today's work, what's your work, man, today?
My work is to put this soil inside the wheelbarrow.
Inside of the wheelbarrow? You can just put, man, then whenever you're just entitling it to happen, yeah. So you're putting and delivering it to backfill the road there, so as you can just have a level there, eh?
Yeah.
Exactly. So the soil is coming from this kind of the Germans here who are digging the fish pond here. Guys, this is the fish pond that we want to have much of the fish rearing here. I told you that the G Castle are going to be so beneficial to the ecosystem, and also we're going to be, you can call it self-sustained. We should be having our own food here. We shall be having much of our own implementation of our own food. And also, I told you that we're going to be having a green zone of the G Castle that's going to be coming to this frontier, and because we have a water well there, and this kind of a fish pond going to be filled with rainwater that we are targeting next week, because right now it has been a dried season and we cannot depend on water right now, because people have planted, but they're going to be replanting again. Like Sigano, I'm just sympathizing with him because he planted much of the maize, and since he planted, it has never rained. So this is like the 2 week coming, and it has not rained, and it's now now becoming so hectic. The third week, which is this is the third week furthermore, and if it's gonna be finished without raining, it's gonna be so chaotic, and the land now it's so cracking and so dry, and the maize are no longer shooting up. So we have a little problem in terms of famine right now gonna be hitting. And when it's gonna rain, I want to invest and harvest much of water that's gonna be filling this kind of a fish pond, which is like 20 feet by 15 feet, and it's gonna be so fantastic. It's a very big one that's gonna be accommodating more than 500 fish, and also the other stuff in front there, which is now acting as a water tank. It's gonna be benefiting in terms of watering the plants, as we're gonna be taking here much of the animal waste. I talk about such kind of the decomposed fish, so as the catfish, the fish, like such kind of the water should be green and should be fertilizing to enrich it with the much of the fertilization, as we're gonna be using it in kitchen garden that we're gonna be here called the G Castle green zone. And that is the biggest benefit that we want to have, as the guys are continuing with their vibe here and making sure that the fish pond is coming out clearly. From this kind of the start here, we have Mayan here. How are you, man?
I'm just good.
Everything is fantastic? Yeah, the job. Fantastic. We have another gentleman there. Buddha.
Yeah.
Mambo vipi?
Fresh.
Everything is good?
Yeah.
Exactly. Guys, the work is ongoing, and a little bit they're going to be reaching here, as it's going to be going to the far end where it is. It's going to be a rectangle one, and it's going to be so fantastic in terms of railing much of the fish. Whenever it's going to be complete, I want to have, it will be having a double course of bricks that are going to be constructed alongside it to have a measurement which is so beneficial in terms of gauging how the water will be coming in, because we have where we have the influence of water which is coming in terms of raining water, and it's coming from all over, because even the G Castle are going to be used in terms of harvesting much of water that's going to be filling up this kind of the two holes here, as because of how the home is this way here. It means that the water that's coming from this kind of the gate, it's just accessing and coming to this point of accessing where the dairy the dairy farm is having much of its sewage line, and it's just accommodating here. So we have some ducts inside here. This is the room where we have some ducts, and also we have much of the daily kettles here, and it's going to be so beneficial whenever it has a segmentation tank here that are going to be segmenting much of water and mixing it with a lot of the animal waste, which is the cow dung, and accessing this kind of the faster bigger spot that it's having much of water. You can just check, it's now greener in color. It means that it's muchly enriched with the fertilization, and it's going to be now we have a spot there which is called an outlet that's going to be going now to the bigger fish pond there at the far end, to make sure that we're going to be having much of the fish ponds growing here, much of the fish. And this is the good effect, because I'm going to be having another structure here that we're going to be having much of the fish rearing at there. Those ones are for the eating, guys, for the eating purposes, but we have the ones that are going to be for entertainment, like we can call them ornamental fish, that are going to be put at this side. You can just check where this kind of the stairs are going to be starting from here up to there. So it's going to be created another construction of a lane up to the far end, and it's going to be a green zone of grass, and it's going to be having a fish pond at the far end that's going to be having the ornamental fish that we're going to be rearing into this zone. So whenever you're coming from the far end there, it's going to be having a small fish pond here that we're going to be having a green zone of grass and planted, that we're going to be having water being rechanneled from the veranda here, that's going to be coming down via the pipings that are going to be coming inside here, as water will be accommodated here. It's going to be going again to the far spot there. So everything is so fantastic, as I'm just entitling to give you much of the things that are shifting here before the engineer commence back or comes back to the work. We're going to be having much of the things already put in the surface reformation. And also, guys, due to the construction here, this is where we will be constructing, or we would be getting water from, because we have a concrete gutter here, and This is the concrete gutter. It's just there. So it's going to be pouring water from this zone here. It means that this water will be channeled and they're going to be having a very deep pit, or you can call it a very big drainage, you can call it a drainage tank that's going to be accessing and getting much of water into this position, and going to be constructed here and dug here very fantastic and neatly, that we're going to be accommodating and accessing much of the water as it's going to be. And we're going to be having, whenever it has a full of water, it's going to be channeled back to the fish ponds there, that we're going to be going back to the shamba is going to be having a green zone there. These are the cows here, and they're being changed here because the cows are going to be so fantastic here. Everything's so fantastic. They're going to be handled here with a lot of care, so as you cannot have a misery taking position. So this is the only sand that's remaining, and this is the rough sand, and it's going to be used in terms of I'm going to be adding much of the tippers of sand, like for the plaster. I have 2 of them already onto the spot, but I'm going to be adding like 2 again, so as I'm going to be certifying in terms of the plaster. But the rough one, like the construction of the perimeter wall, I'm going to be adding like 3 or 4 of them again, so they can just have a sustainability of sand onto the site. Because of the farming right now, it has not rained, there's no sand anywhere. So even right now, if you can get somebody who has sand, it's so expensive for somebody to purchase a sand right now, because we'll be told more than $100 in one trip, and yet it was around you can call it about like 68 there or 70 US dollars. You could just get much of it. And guys, to this kind of the bricks, I started getting them back to the house here because of the shelter, because I told you that it was about to breakage, and the breakage could be so nullified here, and we're going to be just losing much of the bricks. So this is how the bricks were burnt, and they're so fantastic. You can just check. They have a very good grade. We have this kind of the grade, we have the other grade, and we have the upper grade there, because all the bricks are so fantastic, and much of them a little bit they were a breakage because of maybe high heat that was exposed onto the kiln, but it is acting so fantastic because we never lose much of the bricks that were entangled to this position here. So I can just go up so as I can just see what's really happening here. To the top here, everything is okay, and you can just check the bricks got very much attention here, and this is the best moment that I could just talk about. The guys who are doing this kind of the job were so meticulous, like Gashagwa and the other guy called Faida. They did something so meticulous, because you could not have such kind of a kiln burning to this kind of an influence than taking care of them and giving them all the essentials that they need. And this is a call to also Mugesi, because I heard about you're going to be burning much of the bricks and making sure that you're going to be constructing a house of like 15,000, because I have this was for the 30,000 bricks that it's now lying here, and I'm going to be ongoing with much of the bricks, because not yet we cannot talk about the construction can stop today or tomorrow. We have much of the things to reveal and come out very fantastic. That is why I always go forward, talk about they're going to be going back to the talk about some bricks here. They're going to be formulating other bricks like 5,000 or twice a week, and it's going to be so fantastic. Whenever I get some small money, I'm going to be paying for them, so as they cannot stay vacant right now. They don't have any job for them to do, so it's so anarchic for them to stay at home and talk about, oh, we need a small job, because there's not much of the job right now, because people right now it's there's no rain. People are just talking about, where am I going to withdraw water right now? The boreholes, the wells are no longer available with water, so they have dried up, which is now causing much of the contentment that they're gonna be losing much of the jobs. Even right now, to have or to hire people for you to get this kind of the bricks being formulated, it's gonna be so hard for you to sustain yourself. Because of what? Because to get water, bring water, transport water, or go and buy water, it's gonna be so expensive for you. But whenever it's gonna be raining, it's gonna be so fantastic. And again, whenever it rains, it's gonna be so hectic, because the drying of the bricks is gonna be so hard for this kind of the things to happen. That's why I'm gonna be continuing with much of the bricks whenever I get time, and they're gonna be formulating them and getting them to the storage area here, and they're gonna be staying there for a while. Whenever I see that this kind of the bricks are a little bit getting out of here, I'm gonna be changing and putting another kiln so as I can just burn it. So fantastic. So this is the responsibility that we are doing, And just a time you saw, I was having a tractor here. It was plowing at this site here, guys. It's so dusty. You can just check at your own. And this is the fact about what is happening to the shambas right now. So it's because there's no rain and no one has planted. Even me, I have not planted, guys. The lands are so drying. Even right now, you can just see how the grasses are just drying at this position. It means that the sun is hitting. Even that's why I'm talking about we have the kitchen garden here that's having a little problem because of the sun dry. And that's why I want to invest about water, so as whenever I will be pumping water to the farm, it's gonna be a green zone. That's what I'm just targeting for. And whenever the rain gonna be raining, I wanna be harvesting much of the water to the fish pond that I'm already constructing there. It's something which is so essential, and much of the people talk about, oh Gintu, how did you make it happen? Guys, it's small. I don't have that kind of hesitating and talk about, oh, I have to go with a hurry. Everything is small, and I'm gonna be achieving it in a small rate. Once upon a time, it will be like people will be coming either to purchase here or coming for the videos, and they're gonna be coming to celebrate whenever things gonna be so fantastic. The fish pond, whenever I just construct it, even if it's this week, guys, support Gintu so I can just make it happen. As if I constructed this week and I plaster it, I put much of the things waterproofs and everything, I'm gonna be, whenever it rains, I'm gonna be harvesting much of the water. And if it's gonna be full, I will be putting the fish so as they can continue growing. And if they continue growing, it means that when the party will be just opening the G Castle, we'll be having our own sustainability of food that we'll be just using on our own, because it's going to be taking much of like 3 months to come, and the G Castle going to be in a complete way. But we are going on very much, and I tried to have some irrigation. That's why you see these ones here are not much of drying, because I was doing some of the irrigation here using the Moneymaker pump that I was using in my fish ponds there to produce we can call them vulnerable greens, and I've just migrated from there because of the security, and also because you can just remember those kind of the greens like these ones which are here, they have just dried up, and people there they used a Roundup to finish them there. So I want to have a green zone here where I could be monitoring them, because I will be available every time, because my fish ponds are like 2 kilometers from here, which will be so difficult for me to go and maintain and make sure that I'm checking whoever is just trespassing or do such kind of the thing. So it will be so hard for me. But whenever I will just produce them at this home here, it will be so favored for me, because the green zone gonna be all the zones here, as I'm gonna be having water, and also the bananas are here, and also the cows are here, to make sure that the manure is not a problem for me to use. Even the sugars here, they are not having much of the problem, because we have much of the things to reveal. But people are stealing here. The sugar canes are here, so they are so fantastic, and things are going on well. But to this kind of the dry season we are right now, it's chaotic a little bit, but we're gonna be achieving and making sure that we're gonna be not hesitating to have things coming out. And this is the effect of the time, and the time is coming on very fantastic. These are the greens, and everything is so fantastic. We have some of the nursery beds here. We have put much of the talk about the night black shade, so they can just come out very fantastic. The boys here are making it happen, and they're about to finish, and things are coming out very fantastic. And the fish pond is now adding up. It's going to be 1.20 meters deep, so as they can just be having the grading of water, because we have grade from level 0, level 1, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, until we go to the deeper, whereby it will be so cold. And to the shade of this kind of the tree gonna be so beneficial for it, because it's in the evening where we shall be having much of the sun coming to lit on it. But the good fact is the fish pond will be still having the warmth that is required and the sunlight that is required for the phytoplanktons and the zooplanktons to grow, so as you can just be having very fantastic fish pond and the fish that's going to be coming out. I will be updating you much about what's really coming out and what's really popping out, because even the fruit garden, it's plants here. We have just seen the pawpaw plants they are here, and a little bit we have taken much of them out because of shifting and making the changes, as we're going to be now benefiting much more, and we're going to be bringing much more of the fruits to be grown here, and things going to be coming so fantastic. So the work is ongoing properly, and the guys are about, we have like how many minutes so as we can just end up the work. It's just a little bit. Whenever it reaches to 1 p.m. everything gonna be so fantastic coming out from this side. So even it was a bulky, guys. You can just understand that to this site here we have a septic tank. That's why we just put that kind of the stuff there, so as we can just not interfere with this kind of the septic tank up to this position here. We have a septic tank, it's here, and it's enclosed, so as people cannot attempt or make it a little bit of a problem here. So the bulkiness of this kind of the soil is now being placed here, so as even the parking gonna be shifting, because I have the car here, it's gonna be having a parking to the far end of the G Castle. This is how the G Castle is now looking, and the area, it's so fantastic because we made much of the clearance and the cleanness at this level. Guys, everything is so fantastic as I get to the G Castle here to oversee what's happening here, and much of the people might be talking about, oh Gintu, where have we reached in terms of the house and how the things are just ongoing. And here we have these are the talk about the stuff that I made and I brought them here. There are 32 of them, which are square tubes here for the doors and also for the windows. And here I have some of the pipes here that we're going to be using in terms of water and everything like that one. So in terms of here we have other metals here. You can just check these they're just the metals for making sure that for the support in terms of at the veranda upstairs, to make sure that they're going to be providing security purposes, so as the people cannot have to fall down from the top. So here we have this is the pipe to make sure that we're going to be draining water of the concrete gutter, because it should be so big and large enough in terms of the surface area exposed here. It's a very big one that it cannot have or it can not be filled with much of water whenever we have a high capacity of water with the rain water that are going to be coming down. And to the real effect of the time is now it's drying, and I think it's gonna be finishing only this week, so we should be in a very good position to make sure that it's gonna be demolished everything. Guys, I was talking about that's why you have seen he has not yet placed or roofed the iron sheet, because this one here you have not seen much of the parallels that are passing, because much of them they were used in terms of the formwork. Here they are, much of them were used in terms of the formwork, so that's why you can just see he's not available, and he needs this kind of the stuff to be good. So at the stairs here you can just check, it has now happened that it's now reattaching itself from the timbers here to make sure that it's now drying up and people can now pass, and everything is so fantastic. So it's now hard enough and it's being watered daily to make sure that it doesn't have any interference. So here you can just check now, it is coming out. So here they have just already broke this one here, and they want to be having a blockage here, so it has to be removed. So it's so fantastic. Here it is, and you can just check it how it was made, and everything is so fantastic. Wow. So here we go to the upstairs here. It's now drying completely to have a uniform drying, and whenever it will be getting out, everything gonna be so fantastic, because it will be so easy. And I'm waiting for that moment, because everybody is watching about, oh Gintu, how is it going to be demolished, and how are they going to demolish those kind of the formwork from there. He told me that it's gonna be a soft work, because it doesn't need much of hesitation nor improper work. He should be available himself to make sure that he's the one controlling what has to take care and what has to go on from there. So that is the real effect and the impact that we are looking forward up to, because the G Castle now, it's looking so awesome and very fantastic because of the efforts that you have put, all of us, because it has not been so easy, because for it to have more than 18,000 bricks coming and 16,000 now consumed already. The others, they never got into talk about they were not burnt completely, and I have had much of the engineer who is available already to make sure that we can just commence the fish pond work, as it's going to be so fantastic. And we're going to be collecting, because it's not raining right now. Whenever it will rain, so as we can collect much of water and to the fish pond, as we're going to be rearing much of the fish this month. And that is a qualification that whenever it rains only, that's why I'm rushing forward to have the fish pond working very, very fast as possible to make it happen, because we want to rely on our own food and rely on our own sustainabilities that we can just achieve, and make sure that we are making it happen. So let me check on him and make sure that everything is so fantastic. So guys, onto the floor here, not yet put the concrete, but it's gonna be blessed a while coming. Yeah. Buda, kila kitu iko fresh. Sasa unacheki, nataka kuja hii size. Hii size 1.20 meters. Yeah. Kona foot from the ground. Yeah, from the ground. 1.20. 1.20 meters. 1.2. 1.2, which is 4 feet. Yeah. So yeah. This is good now. 4 feet here, guys. It's good to make sure that.
What about this the slab?
Down here, we're gonna be placing the concrete. Yeah. We're gonna start with the concrete, then it will be the concrete, then screeded.
The tile or
we shall see. No. I don't think if style will be so fantastic because of the temperature. Talk about the temperature, because the tiles are so cold. Yeah. So you don't want to have those kind of the coldness to the fish. So it wanna be a double walled. Yeah, and I see the effect of the stones here. I don't know if it's gonna be good or you're gonna be working.
Gonna construct it.
Because there's no use of hardcore here, yeah. It's just the bricks, and it's
will be broken.
Or it will be broken. Or you can hit with a
Mason hammer.
A mason hammer, yeah. And it can just work. The other one, so I think there are so many here. I don't know if
this one is the only to be removed.
Or this one only. So you know, it goes up to where they have not yet reached. Yeah, it goes up to where this kind of the stick is, and
okay, we're gonna break these.
Yeah.
These and these.
Yeah. And also, if it doesn't have any effect, it can just be left.
Yeah.
Because it's just a fish pond. Yeah. So I think it wanna be working, because you know, it should be in the same size of this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be constructed with the double walls to the height of the other one there, to make sure that it's gonna be getting, and the water should not be lost, so as we can take care of water at the whole season. Okay. Exactly. So we want a large quantity of water. So I think if we can just have this kind of the water quantity of more than now. What about from here up to where this kind of the other water tank is? How does it reflect?
It's almost 5 feet.
It's almost 5
feet, yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 feet. So it means that the 5 feet is good now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's 5 feet and you know, we have just dug it, so as you can just come and have the diagonals. So it's now you to look for the diagonals, okay. You yourself.
The time we are going to build it, That's the time we are going to have.
Look, yeah, the diagonals, exactly. So it means that we should have like a concrete of the like one pickup, two.
Yes. For slabbing down. Yeah. One pickup.
One pickup is enough.
One pickup. Cement and.
Like how many cement do you calculate here?
Down, only down.
No, up to the construction of the walls.
No, I must take the quotation.
Quotation. So you will take the quotation, then you can just give me. Eh? Exactly, guys. I told you that we're gonna be having because I'm now seeing much of the windy blowing every side here. It means that we're gonna be having the rain gonna be raining as soon as possible. So to that time we should be in a position of having this kind of fish pond constructed well. And much of the people talking about Oginto, why couldn't it be a swimming pool? No. Where I have just placed it here, it's where the drainage of much of the water from the home and the iron sheet, how they're just pouring much of the water, it's going to be coming to this kind of the fish pond, and we want it to be so natural, and we should be having this kind of an autocode that we can produce even as our own sustainable things like fish. We should have something like that one, and it's going to be so fantastic. It's going to be capable of holding about 500 fish, and the other one it will be having some over we can call them these are just the catfish, which will be accommodated there like more than 500 also. So this one here, it will be so fantastic and so good in terms of that. So we are commencing the work with an immediate effect. It's only tomorrow they will come and break this kind of the loam soil that is here, so as we can have much of the pave way of it to happen. Footing up
20 by 14.
Oh, it is 20 by 14. Yeah, 20 by 14 feet. Eh? Yeah. Exactly. That's good. That is what what about now if you construct the walls? Yeah. So it means that it will cut. Yeah. So it has to be squeezed a little bit now. 1 feet. Eh? So will it go down or up?
Down.
It should go down. Yeah. So it means that no. I don't want the popo to be done.
Okay.
No.
If they are good enough so that they can cut these trees. This tree can break the wall.
Or the tree?
Yeah.
The roots?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They are so strong.
They are so strong. The root of that tree, guys, it's a little bit stronger, so it will break much of the... so where are we moving to? So
can we cut?
You can cut?
The channel of... So that we can cut the roots.
Oh, the roots, not to prevail here. Yeah. So the good thing is, I don't think if that tree has much of the fibrous roots, not much.
This root is so strong. This can break a wall.
It can break up.
It can start plant.
Sprouting. Yeah. Sprouting again.
You know it very well.
Yeah, I know it.
So you need to cut these roots.
That are accessing the fish pond here. Oh, wow. So guys, there's much of the work to be done here, and let's tomorrow check on it whenever they will come and finish digging it out, excavating it out, and we shall commence the work as soon as possible to make it happen. So if you're first time you're watching this kind of the video, thank you very much for you being tuned and locked in, so as we can just move forward, because we want to implement everything, and we want to I will be teaching much of the people on the construction and how it should be modeled and how it should be constructed, and how we're going to get water inside, and how are we going to apply this kind of the water that we're going to be having, in which kind of the directions, and which kind of the fish are we going to rear, because it's tilapia, but we have different types of tilapia. Bright black tilapia, we have the bright red tilapias, but we're going to be having the bright red tilapias because of the high and also ease in terms of accessing and getting mobility, and low mortality rate and less stress into the fish pond. So we're going to be getting them, and I'll teach you on how to generate our own oxygen in terms of water, so as we can just be having water generated here and oxygen generated very equivalently, so as we can just not lose or much of the fish collapsing because of little air or oxygen concentration in water. This is just how we shall be making it happen, and much of the things are going to be coming. Let's pray for Caster, so as she can just have much of the time for her to repossess and to get a good surgery in terms of of what is going on right now. Everything is going to be coming to you live, which is one-on-one, and everything is so fantastic as we go on with our work. Wow. Wow. Kudos, guys, and let's make it happen. This is just the end of the video, and for everyone who's being tuned, we really appreciate and like whatever you are supporting us with, even if it's small. God bless you. Next time, next vibe, this time, this the channel.